welcome to your weekly astrology forecast from Born Without Boundaries Tarot here on Astrology Motivation. If you're not subscribed yet, please remember to subscribe. Why? So that every single week you'll be in the know as to why things are happening to you and what these energies around you mean. And best of all, you'll be able to gain some insights as to how to use them most productively. So let's get into what's happening in the sky this week. We just come out of a beautiful new moon. In fact, the new moon is what starts off this week. And it's not only beautiful because new moons offer potential for new beginnings, right? A new cycle starts every single month. Isn't that gorgeous? It's almost poetic, right? That every single month God has provided us a chance to start over, to cleanse, to at least rebirth part of ourselves, part of our life, refresh our brain. It's just hardwired right into who we are. And Libra's a sign of partnership and balance. So a new moon in Libra is offering us a chance to rebalance our actual partnerships with anybody who is really intimate in our lives and that we care about and that we intimately share our lives with. That could be somebody that you live with, even if they're just a friend, or of course a spouse, a wife, family member. But mostly it's that person that we share our life with. And then of course it also is balance. So where have we gotten out of balance? Sometimes that is very difficult for us to be able to understand. But with a new moon in Libra, it's almost like we'll be able to understand where we need to put the extra weight and where we need to take off the extra garbage, because balance is something, and equilibrium is something that's quite natural to this energy. Or maybe just clear it all off and get a fresh start. What's happening across the way is even more spectacular though, because Neptune and Jupiter are both in opposition to this energy, which means they are exacerbating and not pressurizing, but sort of like exacerbating the energy of this moon. And that could be for better or worse, since they kind of serve as steroids of sorts. But we also have those trines to Pluto. Now, trines to Pluto actually really excite me in that there's a depth of character, personality to all of this energy that I don't think we've really had before. And this opens up really wonderful options with Pluto. Pluto rules the underworld, right? He likes shiny things. So a trine to Venus, which rules money, this is going to be a really good time to sort of start something new or refresh something, get rid of expenses you don't need, or invest in something that you've really wanted to, kick off. It's a good energy to start that under. Pluto's also trine to Mercury. It's trine to a Mercury-Venus conjunction, and Mercury-Venus conjunction in loose conjunction with the Sun-Moon conjunction that naturally happens around the new moon. All this energy is centered, and it's just it's almost like making a superhero. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like it's making something so intense, and there's so much gravity in that area, you can't not see it. And that trine to Pluto does what? It makes it more extreme. It intensifies it. It makes it more important. It makes it deeper and thicker and more potent. This conjunction between Venus and Mercury, guys, that's a beautiful energy. It usually means messages of love or messages of concern or messages of concern, caring, messages maybe of financial growth or information that was needed. And the fact that it's trine to Pluto means it could have been hidden or buried or interrupted, and now it's getting revitalized and coming out to the surface. So we begin again with a sense of renewed possibility in our lives, and especially our partnerships and our energy levels, because the opposing energy is, of course, is Aries. Yeah, Aries. So it's who we are and our vitality and how we care for ourselves and how important we are, reestablishing that sense of self. Have we lost our sense of self in our partnership, and how do we get that balance back? If we lost our sense of self in how we make money, right? In communications, have we overpromised? Where have we overpromised ourselves? Where have we outdone ourselves to the detriment of ourselves? Where did we think something was going to work, but we didn't see things clearly? All of those are going to be coming very, very clear to us throughout this week. And they set us up for a beautiful grand air trine for most of this week, which means after all this intense energy that there's almost like expose, like everything gets exposed around this new moon, the next couple of days there's a grand air trine going to offer us exceptional clarity, exceptional ability to see through the bullshit, to be able to trust our brains, to trust what makes sense. And we really need that right now because Neptune is making things really, really difficult for us. It's hard to see things clearly when Neptune is in opposition to Mercury. And Mercury is in retrograde, so we could be buried in a lot of things, especially feeling like we are obligated to keep something going. That's sort of like the self-deception. Because there's another really potent aspect in the skies this week, and that is Mars square Neptune. Now, Mars is very, very harmoniously trine to Saturn, and that is a figure things out, get things done, always have the energy and vitality to make things work. This is beautiful energy. So it's telling me that you've been working really hard on something, but at the same time, you have this influence on Mars from Neptune that's kind of like trying to like guilt them into something. A guilt. You feel guilty. You feel like you have to. You feel like it, you're responsible for things, and you have to work really hard to. It's almost like self-deprecating energy. You feel like you have to keep treading water because you owe it to somebody, or that's what's supposed to be correct. No, it's not. You're supposed to be soaring on. You're supposed to be catching a current and moving forward. When you put that much hard work in, you're supposed to be winning Olympic medals. You should be motherfucking Michael Phelps. Okay, hello, but you're not. You've been sort of treading water. In other words, it's telling me you have been working too hard because you feel obligated or responsible, as opposed to really being fulfilled and really seeing some kind of potential in what you're doing. And I think that is really the secret gift this week, the gift that's going to become extremely clear to us, where we have been sort of just not making decisions or not being able to make any progress because we've kind of been too heavily under the influence in our actions of guilt, of a sense of responsibility, or maybe how we've hurt others, it's just not good energy, or that we've promised people this, so we have to keep going, and it's bleeding you. It's kind of like sliced you open, and that's why you're feeling so drained. That's why you feel like you're treading water, even though you're using so much energy. And this is why you're not getting all that you should be getting. You do deserve to be getting some progress. And this beautiful new moon is really going to illuminate that. It helped to set us free, helped to make us realize this is bullshit. We do not owe anybody anything. And kind of like untether us with that clarity of, how could I, in other words, it's almost like intellect comes in and breaks right through the veil or the illusion. It's like, how can I not make this change when that's the only intelligent thing to do? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's become so clear, it's blaring at you, and you're just like, oh, no, I gotta switch this. Even if other people don't like it, even if some people will be disappointed, I have been really messing up here, and somebody has been not telling me that because it's been working for them. And it's not about revenge, it's not about getting angry, it's about moving on, it's about getting even. I know that sounds horrible, but it is. It's about getting even. When I mean getting even, I saw the scales of Libra in my head. Getting even, as in it's about getting balanced. It's about getting what's due. It's about getting what's due for you, as opposed to something holding you back or something making you feel like you shouldn't be getting this. Baby, you should be getting it. Absolutely. And the clarity is just going to be so liberating this week. Now, when it comes to this large, like the world scale, I feel like there's definitely something kind of being revealed, something that has to do with balancing out the odds. Coming from the primal, it's that Pluto energy that comes and really because Pluto is trying to so many planets right now, there's that sense of gentleness that Pluto does not always show, and so it's working through us, and it's working through the planets that are closest to us, so that we can make these changes on the daily basis, on the everyday, on the functional basis. We can make these changes, and we can make them now, but Pluto will absolutely insist upon it, because those changes are necessary in order to balance things out that have not been going well, that have absolutely been, and I think of Libra when I think of this, they have been unfair, they have been incorrect, they have been off balance. There's what I would call a huge expose or revelation that is going to be demonstrated and shown, and however people take it, it is what it is, but I would not be surprised about these sort of huge revelations happening this week. So I would love for you to leave the comments below. Tell me how the energy is impacting you, and what have you seen in news articles, etc., etc. I would love for you to share that with me. Absolutely. Talking about sharing information, I'm going to attach a link to the community feed about a podcast that I was recently featured on. This is an exceptional woman that does this exceptional podcast to bring out the inner power in all of us. And I was lucky enough to be her guest earlier on this year, and I'm so happy and excited to share it with you. So check the community feed for those links if you're interested. It was a great interview and a wonderful conversation where I go into a lot of the history of my channels, and a lot of the history of my understanding of astrology, and a lot of the history of how Born Without Boundaries came to be. So if you are interested, I would love for you to check that out. Once again, I'll put the links in my community feed, and leave your comments below, because I will be reading them. And boop that like button, because it really does matter. And subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, because I would really love to hear your voice in those live chats, and you'll have a ton of fun and get a lot out of those daily tarot card readings. So until Tuesday, I wish you the best and most beautiful new moon in Libra, a wonderful beginning to your week, and I will see you guys in the videos.